Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 29th of June, 2025, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 2025 Lincoln Cent. Why? Because, well, sales are still going gonzo on eBay. You won't even believe what I found, especially for the boxes. That's just tremendous. And then we're going to be looking at the proof Lincoln Cent, and I do believe I found something I need to share with you. Now, before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach a bazillion subs. It's a really big number. It's actually ginormous. You can look it up. Pause the video. Now, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now, over here to moneymetals.com. Check out those spot prices where they ended the week on Friday. Look at that. Dr. Copper, $5.12 per pound. Gold ended the week at $32.87.15. Silver at $36.17. Platinum at $13.52.40. And palladium, $11.57. Even Steven. Down here, you're looking at it in stock. American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $6.69 for the quantity 1 through 39. They got you paying $42.86. Picked up sticks. Now look at this. The Celtic end price is $37.43, and that's definitely above the silver spot price. Next up, United States Mint's bullion sales. As you can see, no new tale to tell there. However, it looks like they're getting their act together on the Mint website. They've added some zeros, and look at this. They've added dates all the way to 1986. Yeah, 1986 sales. That's got to be amazing, right? Look at that. That's incredible. Next stop. Yes, indeed. We're going to stay on the United States Mint website, look at the circulating coin production, and we're going to look here at the Lincoln Cent. So we got 626 million from Denver, 639,600,000 from Philadelphia, for a grand total of 1.2 billion Lincoln Cents minted for 2025. Now, folks, I gotta say, that's a ginormous number. If I had that many subs, you know what I'm talking about? Wow. Yeah, so, I mean, is it really the one that's in demand this year? Or is it, well, possibly going to be the proof Lincoln Cent? That's really the question. But before that, let's check this out. I'm going to show you eBay here in these sales. I got 2025 Lincoln Cent roll up here, ended recently undersold, and completed listings. And look at this. This just sold yesterday, $217. And that's a full box of sealed rolls right there. 50 of them in there, right? Probably 245 there. What? Yeah. Boy, 219 there. Look at that. 21.85 for a P&D roll. $7. Okay, that's more reasonable. But the delivery, interesting. That's coming from Puerto Rico. $7 here, located in the United States. $4.84 delivery. That's the Denver. $11.95, one full roll. Hey, look at that. 1909 to 2025 PDS. $89.99, $11 delivery. This person is a genius. Look at that. The whole Lincoln Cent action right there. 280. I think you're starting to see what's going on here. Those boxes are look, how much money did they spend on the box? $50, right? So that's $230 plus 20. Yowza, that's good money right there, folks. So if you're able to find them, well, I would list them on eBay myself. Look at this, $8, $3 delivery. What do you got? Two rolls here, 1P, 1D. That's awesome that people are able to get both. And I'm sure there's sections of the country that see both Philadelphia and Denver strikes, right? You can get them at your bank. Look at that. That's incredible. That's two bank rolls, one Denver and one Philadelphia. Now let's go over here to PCGS, and I've got here the price guide, and I've got the population report, and we're going to be looking at the population report, right? And I have here 2025 Philadelphia strike shield cents in red. This is 2025 Denver shield cent in red. And yeah, look at the submissions for Denver. We're looking at 51, and we're looking at 261 for Philadelphia. And that's not that many, folks. And I was scratching my head when I was looking at this going, well, where's all the, where's everything, right? I mean, and then I started kind of like drifting, and then I'm like, wow, somebody submitted a brown Lincoln Cent from 2023. That's incredible. Wow, brown. Yeah, you know, because basically there's three stages to a Lincoln Cent, right? So there's Mint State Red. You can see that here, Mint State Red. That's as fresh as you can get. That's a top tier level. Then there's the red brown, right? There it is, MSRB. That's red brown. That's what toned coins usually get before they go all the way brown. And I tell you, that's the second tier, right? Mint State Red Brown. And then finally, the third phase of the aging of the coin is Mint State Brown. And there we go there. So the two of them, and I think that was an AU 58, if I'm not mistaken. But really, I think the big story here today, and we're still on PCGS, and we're under proof, okay? Look at the submissions here, all right? Yeah, comparatively speaking, we're like, what, maybe 310, 312-ish, maybe? But look at that, 2095. And what's interesting about this, it's like, wait a minute. let's look at the ratio here. So here's about 700. There's 700 divided by 2. So that's a third. That's 2/3. Wait a minute. 33% of these proof are getting a proof 69 grade. That's really poor. I mean, like bad. But folks, it gets actually worse from there. It really does. Look at this action. I'm going to go ahead and look at so 108 there, 70% there, 37% there, but that's not the real story. All right, this is the real story right here. Out of 1,231, 574 of those bad boys were in a proof 69. The others were, well, proof 70, and then look at that, proof 68 and a proof 66 pickup sticks. Where are those coming from? I mean, you would think those are submitted directly from the packaging from the United States Mint. And what did it look like when it got to PCGS is what I want to know. So anyway, let's look at the numbers here. So we have 1,231 here, all right, and we divided it by 574. That's 46% of these bad boys are in a proof 69. That's got to be condition rarity right there, folks, and that's remarkable. And what are these selling for in proof? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's 48 of them from PCGS, all right, and I have under here shipping lowest. Okay, so look at this. This is a proof 70 deep cameo, 77 cents, $4 delivery. Here's one that's signed by Thomas S. Cleveland, 77 cents. This one's made in the USA. That's remarkable. Here we go. 69 for 30. What? What? A proof 69 for $30? What's going on there? Yeah, I don't know, but that's remarkable for a proof 69. Here we go, 70. And what are the realized prices of these particular coins, right? Look at this, 38 here for a proof 69. You know, never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I would see a proof 69 deep cameo Lincoln cent for $38 with $4 delivery. I mean, we're in new territory, folks, with this Lincoln cent, no doubt about it. And the question is, what is going to be the last year? What's the last year for the Lincoln cent, right? Proof 69 for $50. Proof 69 for $50. I mean, come on. That's a lot of money for a proof 69, but it's probably, well, what the market is demanding, right? So look at this. There's a proof 69 right there, deep cameo, sold May 18. Let's actually get the newly listed instead of the lowest. How low can you go? There you go, $30 plus $4 delivery for a proof 69. $76. Whoa, that's pretty good money there for a proof Lincoln cent, I would think. There's a 67, 34 there. That's got to be a 69 deep cameo. There you go. So what do you think, folks? Is that remarkable or is that not remarkable? And you know where you can source these particular coins? Well, you get them from here, right? This is the proof set from 2025. And as you can see, the Lincoln cent is just there. Bingo! And that's a 2025 San Francisco minted. The mintage limit on this bad boy is going to be 420,002, right? In addition to that, you actually have to add the 2025 silver proof set. It's kind of a misnomer, I think. It's not really a silver proof set because 1, 2, 3 coins in this fountain are not silver. They're not even 3 nines fine. This is 3 nines fine. This is 3 9. But these, and it would be cool if the Jefferson nickel turned out to be 35% silver, like they did in World War II. Yes, please. And then put the maybe the reverse. Let's see if we can see the reverse here. I don't even know is that the reverse? Yeah. Imagine putting the mint mark, the S, right over Monticello. That would be sweet. So anyway, back to the numbers. So if we add the 185 and 2, and we add the 420, I imagine that's about 600,000 and change, maybe 605, 610, somewhere in there. And that's not a whole lot of folks, because if we go here to Proof Lincoln Cents, right? My Coin Guide's Lincoln Cents Guide to the Lincoln Cent Coin Series. And we're looking at proof mintages, okay? And 600,000 is what I'm looking at. And yeah, that's not even close of these 1909 to 1916. Now, let's keep on keeping on. This is proof Lincoln Cent mintages, and it goes from 1936. And we're looking at anything close to, here we go, to 600,000. That puts us in 1956 territory, folks. And what's interesting about that, the United States Mint has been decreasing the mintages down and to the right, is what I like to say on the graph or the chart, whatever you like to say on the table. And then, it's not just the proof sets, it's the uncirculated coin sets, and it's the proof sets and the silver proof sets. I mean, it's remarkable how much the United States Mint has cut down production on their, well, I don't want to say bread and butter, but it is their flagship products. It's their annual sets, right? This is tremendous. So there we go. 605,000 is definitely lower than the number we're seeing here. And really, well, when's the next time we're going to be able to see that? Because we're in the millions right here. That's how many subs I need. Look at that. 3 million, 2 million, one. Okay, here it's starting to get lower and lower. And how low can you go? Look at that. The 2019 West Point, that really doesn't count, does it? 600,000, 464, those bad boys. And remember, when those came out, a lot of them were garbage, like just had spots on them. And who knew? Who knew what was going on over there at the West Point Mint when they were striking those bad boys? Not sure. There's the reverse proof, 412,000. So we're really close to the 2019 West Point Lincoln Cent proof. But really, that's because such a special edition. I don't even know that I should even wrap that up in my talk about mintages. So there's the 2020 S. That was the pandemic year, 824,000. 2021 S, 792. Now here's a little something I thought was interesting. I'm like, wait a minute. 2022 and 2023 had lower mintages, and I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be right. I mean, I think that might have been the proof set mintages, but not with the silver proof set mintages added in there. And it says here, the mintages presented in the table below are subject to change and reflect the most current information as of January 8, 2024. That's a year and a half old right there, so they need to get it together, please, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to coinnews.net right here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit, well, I think I've already done it actually. So I'll put proof set there. All right, there we go. So we're looking at numbers for 2022 and 2023, right? So 2022 suggests that there's 400,000 of those bad boys. And if we go to the silver proof set, 2022, 249,000. And yes, so that's 650,000. That's definitely more than what we've seen this year. Got to tell you that. Now, 2023, right? I think that was the mintages what we're going to looking at now. Yeah, 2023 says 366,261. And there it is. So 369, so about 370, right? Plus the silver, which is actually still for sale at 200. So 200 plus the, 375? Yeah, 575-ish, right? Maybe 570. And that is definitely lower than what we've seen this year for the total mintages for 2025. However, we don't know how many of the silver proof sets remain. And they're selling those. Those are trickling. And remember, what could happen is the United States Mint says, you know what, that's enough. We're done selling the 2023 silver proof set. Because look, it doesn't even have an asterisk there. They could easily get rid of that and say, okay, that's the final mintage. Just list in 200,000 because they're selling 21 a week. That's what, 80 a month? That blows. I mean, that's like, why even bother? It seems like, I don't know. It's just really interesting how poorly those sales are going for the United States Mint silver proof sets. But it's got to be the price. And the price in 2023 isn't the price what they're selling it for now, right? So that's kind of a bummer in the summer. And it'd be cool if they kept the price the same as the retail year that it dropped. Wouldn't that be something? Now, one other thing I wanted to touch base on, it's the circulating coins. I did talk about the Lincoln Cent for most of this, if not all of this report. But the question is why? Why did I talk about these Lincoln Cent for this long? Well, because the United States government is saying that, hey, we're going to get rid of the Lincoln Cent. It costs way too much to mint. It's about 3-4 cents almost. And, you saw Dr. Copper at $5.20 per pound. It's just going to get more expensive. And what's interesting is they probably could put the price for nickel on here as well, but I don't know that they're going to, because that has an effect on our coinage as well. Now, if they get rid of the Lincoln Cent, that's going to put more pressure on the Jefferson nickel, right? So if the U.S. Mint stops minting pennies, it will definitely put more demand upon the nickel, which should actually make them strike more of them, right? Think about that, which actually means heavier losses in their seigniorage. And, I think that the 2024 mintages for the Jefferson nickel, P and D, are going to stand out that much more because they're like a 10th, maybe even a 5th or 20th, right, of what we might see going forward in the future for those Jefferson nickels. And would they possibly consider changing the metal composition? Absolutely. They got to cut costs somewhere because one Jefferson nickel costs about 15 cents to make and distribute, produce all that good stuff, right? Think about that. Way heavier losses on that bad boy. Now let's go to the +1 action. Bingo! This is about egotism, and I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to go ahead and balance that out a little bit. Yay, happy. That's the way it goes when you kind of, need everything in its order. This is Proverb 26. It's about egotism. And I got to tell you, you're probably going to face these people all the time in life. And it's just one of those things. And, they have to be right about all their opinions. And think about it. They're just opinions. It's like that guy, the dude said in that one movie, he's like, yeah, well, hey, man, that's just your opinion. Well, he's not wrong, right? So there's more hope for a fool than for a man wise in his own eyes. And there is no one more lonely than those who love only themselves. Yowza, think about that. You know what? I mean, I'd rather be a fool than somebody who's wise in their own eyes. And who wants to be lonely? Yeah, I think there's been some studies on people who live alone, and that's a bummer in the summer. I mean, it's tough. People need people. Nobody is an island, and that's really the bottom line, folks. So yeah, are there people in our lives who are egotists? Yeah, absolutely. Do they always have to be right? Yeah, but think about it. They're probably overcompensating for something. They want to feel powerful. They want to feel right. They want to feel important. Are they? Well, no, because they're making themselves unimportant because nobody. Isn't that funny? The thing about life, it's like the more you want something, the more you push it away because of your actions and your behavior. Yeah, think about that. You got to have balance. That's right, balance. Now, speaking of that, let's bounce over here to 395.99.9 KOIN Coinage Radio. This is Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic, and that's a euphemism or something for another thing. Yeah, there it is. Now, folks, I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. Stagger out.